Hey everybody, welcome back live at Drew's house, Joppa Afternoon Drive. We got ourselves another music show from our Newburyport studios. I always love that. Our guest today, Halley Elwell.
If you're lost in this space between giving up and grace, if you could go either way, well, this is a hand on your shoulder. And if you're sit on a bench somewhere, lean into each other, take a moment to share good company. When your hands that were meant for holding are cramping in their fists, are fighting for their fix. I will see you, my friend. I got no advice to dispense, but as you walk through the waves, I know you'll find your way. We just sit on a bench somewhere, lean into each other, take a moment to share good company. Sometimes words won't do, and all I can offer is to sit with you. Work through what you gotta work through. I got time. I got time. Sit on a bench somewhere, lean into each other, take a moment to share good company.
Woo! Halley Elwell.
Thank
Welcome
you.
to Newburyport. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing really well, thanks.
Good. From Somerville,
From
Massachusetts.
Somerville, Massachusetts.
All right. Thanks for making the trek to our Newburyport studios. We appreciate that. First time on the show.
Very much so. Yes.
You sound great. Welcome. A little bit about yourself. So tell us, what do we need to know about Halley?
Oh boy. I'm a singer-songwriter, originally from Halley, Maine.
Oh, Maine.
Yeah,
Okay.
Mainer. And find myself bopping around New England performing. Just put a EP out during the pandemic, like a lot of musicians.
Yes. A lot of time for that, right?
Yes, a lot of time for that. It was called The Last of What I Know. And more recently, I just put out a single called Good Company, which you just heard.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I like that. So that's still pretty fresh for you, that one, huh?
It is pretty fresh, yes.
Have you got to, so you're playing it out a lot, live, you said?
I'm getting there.
You're getting
I'm
there,
getting
yeah.
there. It's still ramping up after the pandemic.
It is, yeah.
Getting that feel.
Did you find you playing a lot of the same places, a lot of new places that you did before, or is it weird in that way?
Yeah, mostly newish.
Mostly new, really, yeah.
And doing a lot of farmers markets, which I had never done before.
Yeah.
But just kind of enjoying outdoor shows. And
A lot of people are saying that, actually. I'm getting a lot of farmers markets in,
A lot of
in
farmers
responses these
yes.
days. So.
a lot of kids dancing, which is always beautiful.
And it's, still hanging on to fall here. So
Yep.
fall is a nice time to play in New England, right?
Yeah.
What does, who are the biggest influences, would you say? Where does your love for music come from?
Yeah. So many.
Yeah, we could talk for a while about this.
Right. I always blame my mom's record collection growing up. She just had the best stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It was bluegrass, like old blues. And then my aunt was really into musical theater.
Yep.
And I eventually got a degree in jazz and improvising. The world of improvising just like expanded my mind so much, and that's where songwriting came. So, with the last of what I know, it was like a lot of 60s and 70s women songwriters like Carole King, Laura Nyro, Joni, I loved that time in music where just such a fusion of jazz, singer-songwriter, folk.
It's funny how you only have to say Joni now, right? I've been noticing that lately. Like somewhere at Joni, like you drop the Mitchell. It's just a one-word name. It's like the biggest compliment you can get, right?
Yeah.
That's funny. Well, that's cool. So, was Mom a musician or just had great taste?
She dabbled.
Yeah.
Great ears.
Great ears, yeah.
Still very envious. Can sit down at a piano and just pluck out melody and accompaniment and just like.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she just has that gift. But she plays guitar.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so she plays. So music was always around the house then.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're trying to say.
Absolutely.
Good. Where'd you go to school? Where was it?
UMass Amherst.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so you were always studying the music there?
Yeah. Yep. I was just thinking of it. I mean, I did go a couple of years like undeclared because it's like I can't be a musician. What am I doing?
Oh yeah.
But then it just the calling when it comes, you can't.
It's a lot of distractions at UMass. I know that from firsthand experience.
Oh yeah, is that where you went to?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
I just visited from time to time.
That's really honest.
I'm not sure I would have done well there. I'm very it's too much. I needed a smaller school. I think too much to do at UMass. But
no, that's very fair. Very fair.
But no, I always enjoyed my time visiting UMass Amherst. So you did. When did you make the jump though and say I'm going for it? Probably two different jumps, right? Because you have to make the call in college that you want to study this, but also then then at some point it says I'm going to do this as a career or a business or whatever.
I think one big thing that happened at UMass is I got a job working at the Jazz in July program.
Yeah.
And working in the Fine Arts Center, and I realized through that I loved the admin, like the arts administration end of it, and like putting on shows, and so I kind of knew going out was like when I graduated, I'm like, I want to go to a city that has jazz, and I want to like look to see if I can work in a venue too.
Yeah.
And so that took me to San Francisco.
Oh.
And I worked at the SF Jazz Center, and then at night I would, I was pretty convinced I was going to be a jazz singer after that, so I would do like shows at night.
Yeah.
And tried to do that for a while. I shouldn't say I tried. I did it.
Yeah.
But I put out a jazz album, and while I was out there, I ended up. Somebody from a gig came up to me and was like, I really think you should take some songwriting lessons. There's this amazing woman, Bonnie Hayes, that teaches at a local music school, and like she wrote for Bonnie Raitt. She's amazing, and she later became Berklee's chair of the songwriting department. But at that time, I knew nothing of, but I was like, okay, I probably should take some songwriting lessons. I'm dabbling, but she taught me how to be a songwriter through those classes, cool. And that's when I knew. I'm like, this is kind of what I was supposed to be doing.
Well, that she obviously went out of her way in that regard because she was like, oh wow, she's got that it factor, so but might as well harness it, right?
Yeah.
You're like, I don't know. That's funny. So that was the set. All right, so the little West Coast action there.
Well, yep. And when I came back here, I was just like, I'm gonna do the songwriter thing.
Yep.
Jazz is undeniably a part of my story and my sound, but
yeah.
I love writing original.
It's all
music.
that kind of melting pot thing, right?
Oh yeah.
You hear it all during the songs. I always like to get first time guests. I always do like to get this out there before we go into another one. Just that people want to find where you're playing or find your music. Is there like a website or?
Yeah. So I have so many L's in my name. I just tried to consolidate my web address. It's
That is true.
Yeah. It's
Go ahead, sorry.
No, it's okay. It's Halswell Music, which is HALSWELL music.com.
Okay, I'm glad we did that then because that's important. It's a little different. Yeah, I didn't actually think about all the L's, but you're right. Halley Elwell.
It's and middle name is Alice. It's just
Is it really?
Yeah.
That is too funny. I like that. That is funny. Well, it's kind of rolls off the tongue if you Halley Elwell.
Yeah.
It sounds nice.
If you go high like that, I think that's a
Oh, you have to go high? Did I go high? Apparently. Well, maybe you're right. You got another one for us over there? What do you think?
Yeah. So this is, like I said, I lived in San Francisco for almost a decade. I love public transit. I just think it's the great equalizer. You meet so many strange and amazing people, or at least watch them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of transit stories here, too, you know.
Oh.
They're not as pleasant.
I was not on that train that caught on fire, thank goodness.
No. Do you know what? I'll tell the story afterwards. play your song, and I'll tell the story afterwards.
Slippery slope when we start talking about this.
Halley Elwell on Live at Drew's House, Joppa Afternoon Drive. Take it away, Halley.
All right. Woke up real early this morning. Didn't say goodbye, I don't think you mind. Hopping on that train real early this morning. No thanks, I'll stand. I don't wanna sit by that creepy man. But on the back of the train, I can hear them praying, and I wonder, yes, I wonder, sisters on the J train, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? You gonna save me, sisters on the J train. You gonna save this whole city, oh, sisters on the J train. What you gonna do? Are you gonna save me? Well, that's alright. Go ahead. Hey, did you see that man? Not so clandestinely pull that bottle from his jacket. 7:30 in the morning on a Saturday. What the hell are we all doing up anyway? Well, on the back of the train, I can see them all in white, and I wonder, yes, I wonder, sisters on the J train, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? You gonna save me, sisters on the J train. You gonna save my soul, city, oh, sisters on the J train. What you gonna do? Are you gonna save me? You gonna save San Francisco from its Friday nights? Well, Hail Mary, sweet and low, go ahead and take me home. Did you see it? How'd you know all the troubles in my soul? My soul, soul. go ahead and save me.
Woo! Halley Elwell. Very nice.
Thank you.
The song about public transit. Halley Elwell on Joppa Afternoon Drive live at Drew's house. First time on the show for Halley. So you can listen to the lyrics and you're picturing writing that on a train. Tell me a little bit more about the song.
Yeah. It's pretty literal. It's there where the J train in San Francisco goes along Church Street, and there's a huge church there.
Yeah.
And so you'll get, if you time it right, just a bunch of nuns will enter the train, and they're praying, and it's kind of this amazing thing to watch.
Like always?
No, I mean, depending
like
on...
a lot?
I don't know. Every once in a while, I'll have a friend ping me. I'm like, the sisters are on the J train.
Yeah.
So...
they seem to do a lot of praying.
And they pray.
Yeah.
They pray for San Francisco.
Really?
Yeah, I was kind of moved by that.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not exactly a churchgoer, but I'll accept...
Yes.
Good,
Do they use... I wonder if they use the train as the place to pray, or if it just so happens that it inspires them sometimes on the train. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, everyone's got to get around. So.
I guess, yeah. But maybe they use that as the spot. Let's get on the train and pray.
I mean, worship can take place anywhere, really.
Sure, that's what I hear, yeah. That's fantastic. It's funny, too, because that song has kind of a... I know it's as you're saying it, I know singing it, you tell me it's written in San Francisco, but it kind of has a like New York City kind of jazzy
Okay.
underground vibe to it, which I liked as well.
Oh, cool.
Another city with a subway system. You want to hear my story, probably.
I surely do.
So
yes.
you mentioned the train that caught on fire, which was just outside of Wellington Station in Medford, which is right next to where the WBZ News radio studios are, which I work for as well, for those of you who don't know. And one of our people in the newsroom went outside for a cigarette break while this was happening, and noticed this like girl kind of stranded, woman, not like a kid, it was a woman, trying to find a way to like get to work or get to school. Young, but I think it might have been school, but try to get to where she was going, and looked kind of frazzled, just enough to where my coworker Katie said, "Are you okay?"
Right.
And the woman goes, "Yeah, just had to jump out of a burning train." But she, "Oh my goodness, you were on the train?"
Yeah.
And she goes, "Yes, can you come up and be on the radio?" Of course, you have to ask that, right? But she came up and told us the whole story, and because we were reading like Twitter and everything, we're like, "Is this true? People banged out the window?" And she was like, "Oh yeah,
off the bridge and swam home."
Yeah, all true. And was there somebody in the water? Oh yeah, somebody jumped in the water. Yeah. We were like, bizarre morning.
Yeah.
And we were just, it was off an hour distance, but people had walked that way, and that was my experience with the burning train.
Sure seemed to count.
I know, poor MBTA. They're having a rough year or two, or 10.
I think it goes further back than that.
You know what though? It's nobody's fault, really. I mean, it's like I always say this. It's like people always like yell at the T. It's like, oh, get this right, get this right. I'm like, it's the oldest public transit system in the country, in the world. I think in the world. Definitely in the country.
Definitely in the country. I saw that.
It might be the world. It honestly might be the world.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I mean, what are these people going to do when you have like 40-year-old people in charge? It's not their fault.
Right.
It's true.
It's true.
So I always think about that. I do always say, I would have liked to have seen, like, if they brought the Olympics here, which of course would have happened in the pandemic, but that's what they were talking about.
Okay.
I think they would have had to revamp something. But I don't know.
Been the nudge.
It would have been interesting. It would have been like the one chance maybe in our lifetime to get it done. But I don't know. Here we are.
Yes.
There is we're going to call that my public transit rant for the day.
Okay, that's good.
Inspired by your song.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Well, I got Orange Line is next. We got another song coming, I'm sure.
Do you have an Orange Line song too?
No, I should.
Oh, okay.
After that story, yeah.
Yeah, you could write an Orange Line song. What do you like? Is that what topics do you delve into the most? Yeah, is it like love songs? Is it transit songs? Is it city songs? What do you think?
I mean, I'm a big people watcher.
People watcher.
So I do like to do social commentary for sure.
Yeah.
But I also like to just explore kind of different kinds of, like, I guess this might sound cheesy, but different kind of love, like friendships, and that, good company is a song about grieving and being a good friend to somebody. I wrote it during the pandemic with Dave Brophy, who's a wonderful producer out of Somerville, and and so topics that are timely. I think that's kind of the best thing about doing original music. You can kind of like watch what's going on around you and respond to it.
Yeah. Well, how about that pressure of playing original music? Like, because I know the deal. Like, it's so many of these places. I know you've ran into this. Everybody has.
Yeah.
I'm an original artist, and I like to play my original music. Well, you got to do the cover thing too. It's like, well, how do you do it? Do you mix bag it, or do you go out and say I'm an original artist?
That's a great question.
It's a loaded one.
I'm getting there still, I feel like.
Yeah.
I was just talking about this with a couple different people about what are those decisions you make? Are you only going to do like 5 to 8 gigs a year and say, no, it's just original stuff, or try to do more? But I try to be very specific with my covers that are just, they're influences, like direct influences of songs I've had on my album, so that can be kind of part of a story, an ongoing story and dialogue. Because I really love like doing this kind of talking and engaging with audiences and just
the storyteller kind of.
Yeah. So I try to be, I like to do. Don't ask me to do it right now, but I like to cover the bands, Ophelia, and songs that are kind of like in the wheelhouse of what I'm playing anyway.
Yep. That is a beautiful song. It's funny. It's more, and maybe it's always been this way. I feel like for whatever reason, the last few years, more bands have been covering Ophelia, just like more than like 10, 15 years ago. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it's just that time frame where
it might be. That's probably why it floated into my.
I've heard it. It's funny. I heard one of my buddies was doing it the other day, and it's interesting. It's a great song. So you mix it in that way. So funny though. That's a grind. Always trying to get to that place of like where you want to be eventually, right?
Yeah. But I've especially Maine actually during the pandemic, I was kind of bouncing around a lot, and I have just found them to be like the new Ames Ponte and actually John Shea, and I'm so happy to be here too. It's just like original radio, like, or indie radio is still very kind to us,
I know,
songwriters.
It's you wouldn't believe the people I've got to meet and hear, yourself included. It's just like there's just so much talent, and the one thing especially during the pandemic when everybody was struggling, and we weren't even in here for a lot of it. We were doing virtual shows, which were tough when you're doing music shows.
Yes.
But like so many of the musicians, they all like supported each other, and like I'm in a better place here. Like we're gonna try to there were relief funds and all this stuff that were just great, and I was like, the one thing I really respected about the musicians was like it didn't seem like there was never any like competition or anything. It was all like, how can I help the next person?
Yeah.
I don't know. I always thought that was cool about that community.
Man, I really like songwriters. Like when I got into the community, I was like, these are my people.
Yeah. Something about songwriters, right? It's like, those are my songs. You're not a threat to me. You're not gonna write my songs, right? It's like, I think it has something to that, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'm completely wrong, but
I'll ponder it.
But that's how I feel. I just think it's like if you're gonna, I'm gonna be me. You're probably never gonna be me. Maybe you're a competition in some way, but I'm not treating you that way. That's I don't know. I like that about the music community. I really saw it during the pandemic. So, I always say this: we will get out of a time where I stop asking about the pandemic at some point. Maybe, and I also said this. I don't know. Maybe it's just a part of our lives, and I'll always have to ask about it.
Yeah.
But what was it like for you? Any?
Yeah, well, you know what? I think we have. I feel very strongly about this, and I'll try not to go on a rant. But I think like we don't do very well with grieving in our culture, and we don't really have a way.
There is truth to that.
We haven't had a collective way. We're just expected to go back after this, especially in the music industry.
Yeah.
Just like, wow. That was really hard. So I appreciate us talking about it, and I think we should, because I think that's how things move on. But you have to be able to talk about it.
Do you remember the night, I remember I've had musicians in here that are like, I had a gig that night, and I was like, please tell me this isn't happening. And it's like, it just, you remember everything shut down. For me, it was, I was watching a basketball game on ESPN, and everybody ran out of the building, and I was like, what? That's where we're at? Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And do you remember your moment?
Well, I had just had a house concert like 2 days before.
Oh, yeah.
My housemate was like, should we have done this? I don't know. And I remember a guy, like, he wouldn't touch anybody, but he'd elbow bump. We were just doing the best we could with the information.
Because there was rumblings about it,
Yeah, but it wasn't really real yet. And then it was a Thursday, I think the 12th. I remember that day of being like, that was the day everything kind of shut down. And I did have some gigs lined up that went away. And I also, I think John Shea, I was doing a radio show with him just a couple days before that.
Yeah.
I was getting over this terrible cold that who knows what it was.
Yeah.
And it was just, yeah, it was hard for me. I will say that absolutely. I bounced around a lot. Because for so many musicians, how we made it work was that a lot of us went to teaching online or performing online, trying to stream, and to get that set up and have
Yeah.
that privacy to do it, to buy the gear.
Yeah.
It was just like a huge pivot. Love having those skills now, but it was.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, having to be really comfortable on screen and feeling like you have to be super engaging and
Yeah.
you know.
Because you got to try to keep the other person. It's just different when you're doing it. Yeah, I know
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
I did
yeah.
this show from my kitchen for a while. That was
Oh yeah.
not my most favorite thing in the world.
Right.
I mean, it was fine, but it's, I like this a lot better when you
Yes,
actually.
we need each other. I mean, that's
Yeah.
what the pandemic taught me the most is like this
Yeah.
extreme like DIYing in your bedroom alone
Yeah.
is like not the way to go.
How about the teaching? Did you take on a lot of people or
I did,
Yeah.
yeah. I was
That's good.
teaching maybe 30 people.
30?
A week. Yeah.
That's a very big number.
It is, but that was what I was doing.
Yeah.
So
Like hour lessons?
not hours. Some of them were half hours.
Half hour,
but-
okay.
But 30
Still.
people is a lot to juggle for sure.
That, I mean, yeah. I was not expecting that big of a
Oh,
number.
okay.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
At its peak.
At its peak,
And then I
yeah.
whittled down.
But do you think part of that was, did you find like people you didn't even have connections to that were coming to you because, you know what, this is a time, there's nothing else to do. I want to learn something I've
Yes.
always wanted to do.
Yes, I found some amazing people that way, which was
Really?
kind of fun.
Complete beginners?
It's a mix. It's a mix. I love working with beginners. I especially like working with people who think they can't sing or sing on tune because often it's just not true, and the
Yeah.
progress they make is amazing.
Is that a competence thing, by the way? Is that just, a
It's
lot of
an-
times?
Yes, a lot of it is in your head, but a lot of it is just it's muscle toning. These
Yeah.
are muscles that we have to work. So once you work them a while and they know what they have to do, they start getting with the program, and
Yeah.
it's really fun.
I only mention this because my up in Maine we play, I play a campfire guitar and my cousins do, and my cousin Kaylee, she's, what am I, 35? She's probably, well, I won't say what her age is, but she's a few years younger than me.
Yeah.
My younger cousin Kaylee started singing, and I was like, where did that voice come from in our adult life? She's like, I don't know. I
Yeah.
never went. I was like, my goodness, like big Fleetwood Mac singing, doing Stevie Nicks stuff, and I
Nice.
was like, wow,
Yeah.
this is an addition that we're gonna have to continue.
Yes. I mean, if you think about, okay, I won't get into teacher mode too much, but the voice is a tube, right?
Sure.
And it needs air to go through it. And if you are not confident, and you're slouched over, speaking quietly, not much air is going through the tube, so you're not going to have as much control as you might if you upped your level of volume and airflow.
This makes sense.
Yeah.
That's a good little teaching moment right there.
I
Good.
know.
How much is that lesson?
Yeah, right. But when you put it down to like the basic
Yeah.
functions of singing, then all of a sudden it's not a personal problem. It's like, that's how your voice works.
Yeah. Do you enjoy the teaching? You get satisfaction out of?
I do. I love teaching.
Yeah. Even through the Zoom.
Even through the Zoom.
Even through the Zoom.
Yes.
All right. Halley Elwell joining us here. You got another one for us?
Yeah, I do.
Not about the orange line.
Not yet. Give me time. Okay. No, this is a little Motown-inspired song about an adult's breakup.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right. Halley Elwell,
Just go
live at
with
Drew's
it.
house, Joppa Afternoon Drive. Take it away.
Thanks. I'm no fool, I can see that your love has strayed. We got it way too fast. What can I say? But go and do your thing. It's time we cleared the air. Past the midnight talks. This is beyond repair. Oh, I know we tried, so baby, let's be kind and see what else love can bring. It doesn't have to end, that's so I say, baby, go and do your thing. 'Cause you're slow to crack a smile, and you're slow each other go, and it's never fair. Baby, don't you know? Oh, I know we try, so baby, let's be kind and see what else love can dream. It doesn't have to end, but so I say, baby, go and do your thing. Ooh, it's time, baby. Yeah, yeah, it's time, baby. I know we try, so baby, let's be kind and see what else love can bring. It doesn't have to end, but so I say, baby, go and do your thing. Ooh. Goodbye, love. Good luck, love. Yeah. Goodbye, love. Good luck, love. Ooh, yeah. Goodbye, love. Good luck, love.
Ooh, Halley Elwell. Joppa Afternoon Drive live at Drew's house from our Newburyport studios. Very nice.
Thank you.
More applause from outside.
Hey,
Outside applause. See, that's
Right.
that's a show of approval from the outside.
Okay.
The inside, but you know what I mean. That's
Yeah.
our small but mighty crew. I should probably mention the crew here today. Ryan Rothberg producing the show. Sarah Blackstone directing. More
Okay,
cheers.
Sarah.
People are excited. And Sarah Hayden's in the house there somewhere as well. I think she's still here. Sarah's still here? Sarah Hayden? Yeah, she's still here. It must be listening. I got a quick yep from outside. So thank you to our small but mighty team, as I always say. First time for you on the show here? Yes,
Yeah,
first
yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah.
You enjoy Newburyport? Do you
Feel
get
like-
do you get here often?
I don't.
You
this
don't?
is new for me.
First time ever? How new? Is it your first
can't
time ever?
remember.
It
I
might
think
be.
It might be.
Usually
yes.
you remember Newburyport.
Okay, okay.
You should do the drive through downtown.
I will.
It's nice. It's a nice downtown. And if
Okay.
you're a people watcher,
That's where
you might
I
want to
need be.
park and just hang out for a minute. It's
Thank
a good
you.
it's
That's
a
great
good it's a
advice.
good walking downtown.
Okay.
Like a lot of shops and think like small scale Newbury Street, Boston.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I say anyway.
Yeah. I'm gonna do that.
I think you should.
Okay.
There's coffee shops if you need.
Yes.
I don't know
okay.
if you drink coffee, but
Well, that's one good thing about the pandemic. Seems like everyone started doing outdoor seating, and that to me is.
and
the
they
most
did as
fun
well.
thing.
They cut
Yeah.
into the street actually to create it, and that's
Okay.
one of the things that's staying apparently.
Love it.
That's what I've heard. Yeah.
Okay, so that's the plan.
So you're in Somerville. Do you get into like this Boston a lot, or you probably don't need to with the Somerville
Yeah,
scene?
no. I work part time at Berkeley College of Music. So I.
Oh, it's at Berkeley. Okay, I probably could have guessed that when you said you were. I don't know if you actually said that and I missed it, but
Oh,
when
okay.
you talked about teaching, I should have known
actually, no. I teach privately, and I work there doing like kind of arts admin stuff. So
Oh, okay.
It's a mix.
So it's Berkeley. Very good. A lot of good musicians coming out of Berkeley
Oh,
these days.
yeah.
It's funny if you ever look at like the Grammy Awards, right? Especially all the awards you never see on TV too. Like there's a
Yeah.
million of them, but sometimes I'll go through them for like news work and just see what the local connections are. And there you go, Berkeley.
Yes,
Hello.
they
Yeah.
say I'm new there, but they're warning me already about Grammy season.
Yeah, they are,
It's a
yeah.
big deal at Berkeley.
Yeah, apparently it is. It's a big deal. Yeah, it's a big deal watching Berkeley. Never mind big deal actually being in
Yeah,
the system.
yeah.
So I'm sure it is. First time on the show, you have to do a little bit of rapid fire with us. You ready? Just
Oh,
first thing that comes
boy.
to you'll be fine.
Okay, all
It's
right.
it's easy. We'll start easy.
Yeah.
We'll start with like favorite food or
I love mangoes.
mangoes.
Yeah.
That might be the first mango answer.
Okay.
Good. Favorite city in the world. This is probably a good one for you because you've traveled.
Oh boy.
Ha!
Dang.
You want to come back to it? No, you can get that one.
I have a hard time with. We'll say San Francisco.
San Fran?
Still got my heart.
Just look, really? You left your heart in San Francisco? You went there, did you?
Yeah, I did.
I actually have a quick San Fran story. My mother works for Levi's, which is headquartered out there.
Yeah.
So she has to like travel to San Fran 4 times a year, and she was doing that when I was in high school. It was never cool. Like she used to offer, you want to come for a couple days with mom and it was just not cool as a high school kid to go travel with mom to San Francisco. What a dumb thing!
I know, man.
Like, come on.
What were we thinking?
And now in my adult life, I'm like, I've never been to San Francisco. How many chances did I have to go to San Francisco with mom? And mom's cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. I get mad at myself about that.
Yeah.
I get mad at myself about that and not going to Prince that night when I could have seen Prince. That's
Oh
what
my
I'm a
gosh.
I know.
I'm so sorry that happened.
I just needed to get those things off my chest.
I
Okay.
get that.
Back to the rapid fire.
Okay.
You go zero it down. Who's the favorite musician of all time? I know. This is a little hard.
It's not really.
You knew it was coming.
I don't even. This is probably not going to be true tomorrow, but I really love Carmen McRae. She's a jazz singer that is just her phrasing.
Okay.
Huge influence.
That's the one at the moment, though. Yeah, it changes, right?
I mean,
yeah, it's a tough one. I know.
don't do favorites.
How about favorite venue in the world? Like, is there a place like you like just love it, and maybe it just held a soft spot for you personally? But
You know what? Listening rooms. It's split between. Well, I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna say the Lizard Lounge. I just think it's so intimate. We really missed it during the pandemic. Just opened back up. That's just such a special listening room.
Gotcha. So you like small.
I like small.
Yeah.
I worked at the SF Jazz Center. That place is very cool if you ever get there.
What's like the perfect, because I think people always think about that, like, oh, it's a nice intimate room. What's like the perfect crowd for you, do you think? Is it, it's probably not so much numbers, it's more a feel thing, but.
I like listening rooms. I like, and I think that.
So that's really small, right? Like
it's pretty small.
Like the listening rooms are probably.
Bluebird, yeah. Like, no more than 50.
Yeah, dozens, right?
Yeah.
Dozens, not hundreds.
Exactly, and I like, because I just think the venue plays a role. It's the other Beatle, It just like the acoustics matter, and the exchange you have with the audience. If they're comfortable, if they're open.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, last one on the rapid fire scene. We have a lot of high school kids on this show that are doing good things or whatever in the community. What is the best professional advice you ever received?
Ooh. Oh my gosh. That's professional advice. Oh boy. Okay. I don't. Sorry. Now you're.
I like how seriously you're taking this.
I'm
This is
really
good.
taking this.
I know. I
seriously
appreciate
because
that. Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of just the great bosses I've had. And,
Yeah, that's what I always think of too with that question.
Yeah. It's
People
like,
come to mind.
People come to mind
Yeah.
of just people who see you, take the time to see and listen to people.
Yeah.
And when I think of the bosses that really like took care of me,
Yeah.
they made me feel like they saw what I offered and my potential.
Yeah.
And they recognized it. So I guess it goes. That wasn't the answer to your question.
I think you're getting there though. I'm kind of enjoying the process. You have to enjoy the process of getting there.
Coming out of this. Yeah. And actually, in the music industry, especially, you have to keep going. Just keep going.
Yeah.
Because there's really not a moment where you're like, I made it, I'm done.
Yeah.
And to live a creative life and make that choice for yourself, you're just always going to be experiencing new things, and that whatever you thought it was you were trying to achieve is always, it might morph into something new, which is good and exciting.
Well done. You did it.
Thank you.
Good job.
Okay.
Playing off that a little bit, one thing I do always see, I have a lot of musician friends that come through here and that maybe I didn't even know, and they become friends, and I'll go out to see them in certain places. You know what moment I hate is like when you go to like a place that doesn't really respect the music. Like it's like bury you in a corner. Maybe there's 3 different TVs on or something, or people are loud around them, and like why are you yelling right next to the person playing? What's your advice to like the person that's kind of battling that? Because I always think it's nice to hear like different perspectives of like I eventually just learned to block it out, but it's annoying, or
I wish and I wish I could do that. I got sensory issues, so I actually when I have too much sound coming in, I shut down. I don't do very well.
Yeah,
so
I bet. Yeah.
I've had to make a conscious effort not to do those kind of gigs. But I think setting. Don't be, even if you're like, well, I'm a nobody and I have to take every gig that's given to me. Set some standards for yourself. Set some boundaries of, if they're not gonna if they're gonna make me feel truly bad, is it worth the $50 they're probably, I don't know how much they're paying. If they're paying well, think about
weigh the pros and cons.
Yeah, because there's so many, when you think about like what you're actually doing and how when you have to show up somewhere to set up, how long that takes, and if they're not going to do sound for you and you have to do all the sound. Like there's a lot going on there. So going through kind of those steps, thinking about what's worth it for you.
Do that different for you. You got the keyboard. You don't just have to lug around a guitar.
I know.
You got it a little more difficult than some.
It is. So I think that's why I have maybe my boundaries are a little stricter than others.
What do you do when you have? Because I know you play rooms that you like, but it's bound to happen. Maybe you have it's a bad room or whatever. It's a bad audience. Maybe.
Yeah.
What do you do? Do you please stop with your?
No.
You just go on.
I'm like, well, this is a rehearsal tonight, and I'm going to make little jokes that I know nobody can hear. And I'm going to just kind of smile and do my best, because ultimately, like, I love to play. Yeah. And it's like, okay, this is a rehearsal tonight. And
so you make yourself laugh a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. The best you can do with it. Yeah, I've seen mega artists at the playing stadiums have issues and not be good. I know we all have. Just do a YouTube search of musicians behaving badly on stage, and you'll see it. I mean, it happens, but I guess you can't control your audience. I guess, but
no. You can really only control yourself, right? Yeah. And that's why I think about the boundaries of like, set some time up for yourself to set out like what can I handle and what can I not? And
So the room is important though. I guess that's a good little lesson for the musician as well. Fall's been good. Been busy.
Fall. I mean, yeah. It's gonna get busier.
Gonna be busier.
Booking stuff. Yes.
Yeah. It's finally coming out. It's as we go into winter. I imagine. I don't know. Tell me if I'm wrong on this. Keyboards and stuff have kind of a nice cold weather vibe to it too. The piano and all that.
Yeah.
I picture like piano, fireplace. Like I don't know. Do you feel like you get more? I don't know. Is there more offers in the winter? You'd have to chart it.
I'd have to chart it for sure. I mean, definitely people like the jazzy vibes.
Yes.
No denying everybody becomes a jazz fan December 1st.
Is that true? Yeah, okay. That's all. I guess all that I was getting at. Yeah, it feels like kind of a cool. Well, very good. Well, this has been fun. I wish you all the best. Thanks for coming in from. I know you're busy with real jobs and everything, and here that whole real work stuff. It's so nice to meet you and hear some of your songs. And we already did this, I think, earlier, but one more time, websites and all that.
Yes.
People are already texting me about you. There we go. I don't know who it is.
Let's just say that. Phones are off the hook. It's Halswell Music, which is HALSWELL music.com, and you can find me on Instagram, on Facebook. I started a TikTok, 9 videos.
You did the same face I did with the TikTok too. Like I'm not quite. I got the other ones. I was avoiding TikTok.
I know.
I got too many. I'm already too.
It's a lot.
I'm already too attached to the thing.
It's a lot.
But I don't know. Eventually, you just say you got to do it. Everybody else is.
I know. And you know what? TikTok makes me laugh. I'm not gonna lie.
It does make me laugh. But I don't like. It's just it's quick pleasure though. Like you do get addicted to it. It's like I do too. And I'm like, then after like an hour and a half, I'm like, what am I doing?
Well, that's very true.
Yeah. It's kind of scary, actually, how the brain works that way. Like
it's by design, baby. They know exactly what they're doing.
We'll end on that note. There you go. Again, big thanks to our crew, Ryan Rothberg, Sarah Blackstone, Sarah Hayden, and everybody else who makes us go here. NCM Hub Newburyport, our Newburyport studios. Nice enough to have Halley Elwell in the house today. You want to play us out with one, Halley, as well? And we'll
this is
bring us home with some nice music.
Tune called The Last of What I Know.
All right, pleasure to meet you. Thank you, Halley.
Thank you so much.
Live at Drew's house, Joppa Afternoon Drive. We'll see everybody next time, all right? Peace.
Well, I know that I've been loved, and I know that I've been cheated. I've been the martyr, and I've been the thief. Well, did the Spirit move me, or was my time completed? All I know is time to pack it up and leave. So I
troubled me.